you had the understanding that you didn't want a child out of wedlock. Then you sleeve off your trousers, right? Got into a carnal affair with a strange woman without protection. You delve into a sea of uncertainty and expected to come out without blemishes. It is not possible. Then another very important or probably valid point I want to raise about this matter is the fact that, okay, you've been in a relationship for 4 years, 4 counting years, right, with a lady, a sweet lady, the love of your life, according to him, that he so loved this woman, so that the consideration of calling off this relationship and getting to hook up with the lady who reported pregnancy to him is not feasible. Why we are here is to both prefer advice for him at this moment and also talk to young men and women out there who get careless at every little provocation and do things away from the lane of sanity, then expect results that are safe. A young man cried out recently that his relationship of 4 years was at the brink of collapse because of a mistake he made. According to him, he's been in this relationship for 4 years with his fiancée, and in December he attended an event that led him into having a one-night stand with a strange one. Unfortunately, that fling he had with this lady led to a pregnancy. At this point, his fiancée of 4 years wasn't aware about what was happening, and so he was confused and needed a sense of direction. Now, there are 2 challenging issues in this story. One, he will not want his child to be nurtured elsewhere but in his home because of the experience he had in the hands of his stepmother. He was tortured by his stepmother, and so he didn't want any of his child to be raised by another. He also went ahead to declare that he's been told severally that love is not enough to inform marital decision. With this, he feels it would be wise for him to settle for the lady who has reported pregnancy to him. And so he's asking contribution from the general public to enable him make the best decision at this time. To start with, I do not think that this young man truly didn't want to raise a child out of wedlock. I don't think so. You may have your reservations, but I do have mine too. Because experience is the best teacher. If you have had your fair share of experience from your stepmother, I am thinking you should be more conscious and probably disciplined about the decision you make around a particular area you think you want to avert or avoid. This is what I mean. Now, if you have had an experience that has warranted you're not wanting any of your child to be raised in a strange home, whatever it is, or by a strange woman other than your wife, I am thinking that no matter what, you should be more careful about the decisions you take, about the practices and the activities you engage in at every point in time. You had the understanding that you didn't want a child out of wedlock. Then you sleeve off your trousers, right? Got into a carnal affair with a strange woman without protection. Okay, a quick analysis. How much is condom? Condom is about 300 naira or at most 500. If you want the most expensive, you get it for let's say 1,000, 2,000 naira. You get it at that rate, that cheap. That CD, so they call it, of 2,000, 1,005 would have saved you a whole lot of troubles. But no, you delve into a sea of uncertainty and expected to come out without blemishes. It is not possible. Of course, I know you're matured to have understood the consequences of your actions. Pregnancy would have been one of those consequences that would have resulted from that action. So you shouldn't sound all surprised here, right? Then another very important or probably valid point I want to raise about this matter is the fact that, okay, you've been in a relationship for 4 years, 4 counting years, right, with a lady, a sweet lady, the love of your life, according to him, that he so loved this woman, so that the consideration of calling off this relationship and getting to hook up with the lady who reported pregnancy to him is not feasible because of the love he has for his fiancée of 4 years. In this span of 4 years, my thinking, I may be wrong, but I think that the best place, right, to have expressed carelessness and recklessness when it comes to sexuality would have been with your fiancé of 4 years. So that whatever happens there, you just go ahead and formalize the marriage tradition, and you would get along with life seamlessly and effortlessly. But no, I know he reported that this would be the first time he will be cheating on his fiancée. Well, I'm not going to insist or probably try a test of his morality. That's not why we are here. Why we are here is to both prefer advice for him at this moment and also talk to young men and women out there who get careless at every little provocation and do things away from the lane of sanity, then expect results that are sane. Those are the group of people we should be talking to now. So my thinking is the best place you should have been reckless, right, and careless with sexual activities would have been with your fiancé of 4 years. That is where you're building your future. That's where it lies. You've been building in there. You've been building structures in that place. You've been experienced in that place. You have nurtured understanding in that place. You have nurtured everything, resources, time, and other resources. You think it's a joke? That isn't a joke. And now that you're placing all of the consideration on you and you and you and you, have you taken a thought about what this lady will likely go through when this is reported to her? Well, like I said, I made the same mistake growing up. But the difference is that it was channeled. I had to channel it through a relationship I had built for some time. So when that happened, I was not very perturbed. I was just concerned about one or two persons who care about me so much for the disappointment they would feel when they realized I had gone that way. That was all there was. I was prepared financially and otherwise mentally. I was set to do that. So it wasn't a difficult thing to do. It was with a relationship I had been building for marriage for a long time. And so all I did was to just go ahead and probably draw the wedding day or whatever backward, get it sealed up. And there we go. Okay, let me tell you a little story about that since it came up. Here was I with a girlfriend for a period of time. And so at the point I became curious. Okay, since our dating date, she had not reported anything to me. As I just decided to find out. One of those times we were out to make it out, and she reported the fact that she wasn't safe for the action. And I was like, okay, who cares? At this point in time, I already had something doing that should be able to, like, maybe should anything happen. So there was that preparedness of mind and resources and everything that was required to stage a family consent. Like I said earlier, weren't the fact that I couldn't really handle that. It was the fact that, okay, my mom, who was a deaconess at the time, was going to be disappointed by my actions. My uncle, who saw me through school and just was going to be disappointed with me. So those were my primary concerns. My concern was about how my loved ones were going to feel about the report that came. But I knew I could not evacuate that pregnancy. I could not even direct, I could not even refute the fact that I was biologically inclined to that pregnancy, because yeah, it was reported to me about the non-safety period and window. I took a chance. So when it happened, broad-chestedly, I opened my arms and took that responsibility, bearing all of the embarrassment and everything that had come there. I was happy it happened. Like I suspected when the report got to my mother about the fact that my girlfriend was pregnant. My mother spent some time crying. She cried for a long time, disappointed. My younger sister reported the fact that my mom has been crying all through since she got the report that my girlfriend was pregnant for me. So I waited a while for tempers to douse down, called that one of those days. And after pleasantries, I reported the fact that I heard that she'd been crying from the day she heard that my girlfriend was pregnant. And she asked me if I was proud of March. I said I wasn't proud, but I needed to ask her a few questions. She obliged me the opportunity to do that. And I asked her, my girlfriend got pregnant in the city. if I had evacuated that pregnancy, would you have known about it? She affirmed she wouldn't have known about it. Okay, if that evacuation had been done, and probably I presented myself and my girlfriend to the church, your primary concern, for a wedding, would the church have wedded us? And she said, yes, the church would have wedded us. And I'm like, okay, so my fault, my sin now is the fact that, okay, I committed a sin, right? Discovered I had done it wrong, then decided not to lie to myself or to God in preservation of my baby. I didn't want to deceive anybody, man, God, who I wanted to complain at them. That was my fault, right? So I trying to understand where I was going to. So I was like, okay, I didn't want to deceive myself. But one thing will happen about this matter. I'll give birth to my baby. When this baby is born, I will tell him that I had him out of wedlock before I got married to the mother. So the baby will have no grandmother. That was when my mom understood and gave me every support I needed. What you take is calculated risk. You cannot just throw yourself there and expect to come out without blemishes, to come out without stains. No, life is not led like that. Now, if you think love is not enough, and so you intend to settle down with a stranger, someone you know not much about, then I'm going to be telling you something very, very important right now. That statement, love is not enough, does not by any means suggest the fact that you to anchor any relationship in the absence of love. No, that's not what that suggests. What that suggests is the fact that in addition to the love you parade, right, in addition to the love you express, in addition to the love you feel for whoever it is you feel the love for, you need certain things in place. You need to be emotionally mature. You need to be financially stable. You need some sort of emotional stability, social habits, everything that is important, physical capabilities and maturity and all of that are required along the condition of love. If you must pilot a reasonable family, that is what that means. So when you think about, okay, love not being enough, and that is why that is not why you're relinquishing your relationship of 4 years. Yes, love may not be enough, but love is the force that anchors everything together. Love holds everything together. And so without love in a relationship, you're likely to crash in no time. You'll crash in no time. Love is mandatory in a relationship. So when as you think about love not being enough, just know that love is an anchor. It is a constant. Love is a constant. It must be in a relationship. In fact, love is the reason that the world still holds together.